Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together the boat step card, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So these are all the pieces. I'm just pulling it apart. So putting all the pieces separate. So there's a lot of piecing with this card, that things have to be layered in a certain way, so I'm going to show you that portion, and the rest is pretty easy. And here's some teeny pieces. If you've never used the embellishment bowl, that is actually a freebie SVG file on Simply Crafty SVGs. Kind of something that I use all the time. I have about 5 of them ready for my designs. And then I'll show you, these are the two, there's actually 3 panels. A big boat panel is what we're going to layer everything on, and then the 2 other panels. And then this piece, which is the card piece, it folds in the front. And that front piece will help it stand up. And then, of course, the regular card piece in the back, where you can have that large section to write a message inside. So that's how it folds. And now we have the pieces that we're going to put together. We've already put together and pieced together the 2 pieces, the white and orange piece for the lifesaver, and Seize the Day. And the Seize the Day is a printable and optional print and cut. You can't cut it out, the actual letters, but you can go ahead and print and cut. And there's also a blank tag included. So these are just the 2 pieces to make up one side of the flag. So I'm putting it on the left side because I have the flag going to the left. There is a dashed cut line in the middle of this piece, so that'll wrap around the pole piece that's included, which is to the right there. I would suggest putting the red piece on first and aligning that right upper corner to the top, and then the top should be flush with it. But since I put the blue piece on first, it was a little crooked. So that's what I would do, and then put the blue piece second. If you're going to use it for this, that was intended to have kind of a Coast Guard flair, just in case there's somebody that wants to use it for a Coast Guard boot camp, or I don't even know if it's called boot camp, but something like that. So you see it folds. Then we're going to add some glue on the inside of this. Now you only need it one-sided, really, because you don't want to see it from the back. And I have it go to the left side. I guess you could do it to the right if you'd like. It would be a weird angle. You would really want it to the left because I have it angling back, and it will go right there when we get to that part. So now we're going to layer the little, that's actually Seize the Day, just so you know, there's the blank one. But we're going to layer the bottom water panels, I would call them, but just call them panels, because you could put any pattern paper if you wanted, but it's, of course, curved like waves. And I am using an embossing folder. I forget which one it is right off the bat, but I'll put it in the video below. So that lines up, that larger piece lines up to the top, and it would even be a more effective effect per se if you ink the edges of that smaller piece and larger piece. And then this will go in the middle of that piece we just put down. Just give it a little contrast. So we're just going to put that aside. And now we'll piece together the actual boat. So the blue piece will go first, and you want it to align all the way to the left where that opening is, where the outboard motor is. So I'm going to add some glue, and then we're going to make sure it lines all the way over there so you see no white. And it should align a little bit further up than I placed it. See that line to the in between right to the right there of the outboard motor. There should be no white above there. I just didn't push it up quite enough. And if you put the white piece on first, that'll help you align it as well. Now, you don't necessarily need this additional white piece. The reason I include it just in case you want to have that back piece being a different color. So I'll show you how to put it on anyways. And then we'll go ahead and put that on because we want to make sure we put that piece on before we put the top of the cabin. And don't drop it, but I did. So fortunately it didn't drop in a place that you could see the glue. And I'm just aligning it to that section on the back cutout. And then we'll add that white piece. So you could have done the red piece too, but I just want to make sure you can see what order it needs to be put in. So we just align it to that area. And then you can see where that red piece goes. And I didn't quite get it lined up on the upper right, but that's okay. I'll just add a little chalk ink or something to hide that white. And then we'll add that little outboard motor piece. So it all lines up. It's just the user right now that you're seeing that's not lining it up properly. So a good background might not be white per se, but maybe a black or dark gray for the big white piece that I have. That'll help you align it a little bit better. So I'm just using the Color Box chalk ink, which is the charcoal color. Just go around the edges. And I didn't necessarily want to go around the white, but I actually ended up going around the white because I had a white background. In this card, you'll notice that I had one of my big panels in the background is white and it's embossed. I ended up coloring it because it kind of washed out the boat itself. So then you just add the lifesaver wherever you want to add it. You could do that first or add this top panel. So after this is just placing these pieces on the card, and this will go on that the very front folded piece. And I'll show you shortly. I didn't show all the individual steps for the remainder of the card, but it's pretty simple at this point. That was the hardest part. So now we had added the lifesaver, and you can see that we glued that part to the front, and that bottom edge lines up on that front part. And then we have the two panels in the back, the one that's in the back here and the big one, and then the wheel with the little Seize the Day tag. So you could add whatever you wanted. I know it's really small, so you could omit that and put your own, to actually customize it. And I wouldn't suggest a white background, so you might want to use a pattern paper or different colored paper. And then you can just open it, and there's a place to add a sentiment and message. It's a fairly simple card to make, and I hope you liked it, and I thank you so much for watching.